You don't need a cruel leader like Hitler for Holocaust to happen. You don't need a military general for genocide of Rohingyas in Myanmar. You don't even require military support or weapons of so-called mass destruction erase communities from the land. The terrifying reality is that genocide happens with mass support of active participation coupled by the conspiracy of silence. It is evident that Israel is just onto genocide of Palestinian people. It appears the state of Israel has purposefully allowed its military to bypass rules of engagement, essentially giving green signal to kill anyone they encounter inside Gaza Strip. As ground operation moves on, we have heard Israeli politicians and soldiers openly talking about turning Gaza into dust and eliminating Palestinians. It's more clear that the objectives of the ground operations also include clearing northern Gaza from people of Palestine. Palestinians are being encouraged to leave their lands and homes in northern Gaza. They are heading towards the south. Israel clearly wants to colonize northern Gaza and turn it into security or militarized zone, permanently expelling the Palestinians who currently live there. Palestinians are being deliberately deprived of all the basic necessities of life, including food, water, shelter, and medical care. The same imperial project that brutalized millions of black Africans, killed Tamils in Sri Lanka, committed genocide against millions of indigenous people across the Americas, in Australia, New Zealand, and elsewhere, colonized Asia and Africa through brutality and force, destroyed countless societies full of complexity, beauty, massacred civilians in its imperial wars in places like Vietnam, Iraq, dropped atomic bombs on Japanese civilians. The list runs long. For genocide to happen, two critical elements are needed: the infrastructural and material capabilities to commit the genocide, and the ability to conceal the genocide by calling it something other than what it is. The West is participating in both of these critical elements. We have never seen a case of genocide being supported by this many actors openly and actively. The majority institutions in North America, Western Europe, and elsewhere are either actively participating in this genocide or completely silent and are thus complicit. The suffering that Palestinians have endured so far is already unfathomable and very difficult to illustrate in words. And what is coming is going to be even worse. Monthly Current Affairs Digest in November issue observed Netanyahu, who just a few weeks ago was an indicted crook facing a corruption trial on a slew of fraud, bribery, and breach of trust charges, as well as having an authoritarian DNA, has been rehabilitated by US President Joe Biden as the Middle East's shining avatar of resolve, resilience, and morality. People across the world must begin to withdraw their participation from this system that primarily works for Euro American powers and political and economic elite across the world. Don't do it just for Palestinians. Do it for your own sake as well. Do it for your dignity, freedom, and humanity.